when you're looking to create a man bun, there's a few things that I'm going to suggest as far as techniques and also products. Number one is you want to be sure you're doing this on dry hair, because that kind of is the whole point of it, is that you're looking to create kind of a bun and a style that is done typically on dry hair. So if you do want to do it on wet hair, it's probably going to be a lot easier to kind of lock the hair in, but the issue is that your hair is going to be wet. So a lot of times, you know, it can be done on wet hair or damp hair. If your hair is just long, you know, you're just getting out of, say you're in the shower or you go to the beach, or it's just one of those, like, you know, opportunities where your hair happens to be wet or damp, you can just kind of run your fingers through it and, you know, get something, tie it up, and you're good to go while it's wet. And you may have some pieces coming down, this and that. When it's dry, it's the same type of thing. It's more about convenience. It's really about just taking all of this hair, right, and getting it out of the way so that it's going to be a lot easier for you to do whatever it is that you're looking to do, and also at the same time look a little bit stylish. And, you know, and I don't have anything in this, but it's about being comfortable. It's about convenience. Just how when people, like women with long hair, they say, oh, just tie it up. It's the same thing. So what I suggest doing is, the first thing is using a brush. So this is my anti-static vent brush, which is available on my website. It's got a rubber handle. I know I always talk about this handle, but as a hairstylist myself and someone who uses a brush like this regularly and has for many, many, many years, I've used ones in the past where the entire thing was just a plastic type of handle, so it's very, very slippery. This is rubber, which means you have a lot better grip, right? You can grip it so much better, and it's easy to get through the hair without it falling out of your hand. So really, it's awesome, and it's great for detangling if you've got super, you know, knotty hair. It's really, really amazing. And again, as I mentioned, the key is anti-static, right? So some brushes just, it's like create static, where this is awesome for that. So it's helping prevent the static as well. So, you know, if you are someone where you want to do this on a regular basis, you want to do this at home, you're in the bathroom, wherever, and you're getting yourself ready, brush through your hair to get rid of all the knots, okay? That's the first thing. And this is after your hair is fully dry. Now, the issue is that sometimes the hair is too clean, right? It's too soft and too silky, where you actually need to, I think, rough it up a little bit, or dirty it, quote unquote, dirty it up a little bit to make it look like more second day hair or a bit more lived in. And that's where I would suggest my locked hairspray, because one, it's a matte finish hairspray. There's literally no shine in it whatsoever. It's a very light to medium, if that, hold, right? It's just enough to add a little bit of that texture and hold that you're looking for without it being overpowering. So what I would suggest is just spraying this in the entire head, using your fingers at the same time to work the hair through, and make sure you're getting it even underneath as well, right? And what you're doing here is just adding a little bit of texture to the hair to make it a bit more lived in. Because even for, like with girls, for example, like going to prom or weddings, or where they have to have their hair put up, stylists will always say, don't wash it the day of because it's too silky. The hair actually styles better when it's a day dirty, right? It's next day hair. So then now your hair is in a much better state, because yes, it's very, very silky hair, but now I can feel that it's much easier to work with because of that texture now. The next thing we have to talk about is what type of elastic are you going to use. So there are two different types. You probably can't even see this, okay? Let's see if we can get really close right here. So right here, it's like this see-through elastic band, right? It's so tiny, this thing, and I wouldn't suggest using something like this on super long hair that is very, very thick, because it's probably not even going to get around the hair itself. So when you're pulling your hair back, there's a few different things that I would suggest. Is when you're using your fingers as like a rake, right? You can use that as a comb, because to me, especially, you know, as a guy, you want this to look a bit more rugged and lived in, and you don't want it to be like like a slick back updo, like if you're going to a prom. You know, I mean, to me, it's all about being kind of masculine and having this a bit more rugged and not so perfect, right? That's what makes this really awesome. So I'm using my fingers to kind of rake the hair back in. The next thing is you want to take your hair and you're putting it in the ponytail itself, right? You're basically using your hands to pull everything back into one spot. So then you want to keep that. This is your hand right now is your base. So with the other hand, like this, what you're going to do is you're going to take the ponytail here and you're going to hold now the base of the hair and pull this through. All right, so now you've got the hair secured. You're going to twist this around, and here is where the magic happens with the whole man bun thing. There we go. So what I've done, we'll get a little bit closer here. What I've done is I have created, and you're able to see that elastic right there. I was able just to create a unique type of man bun, but you see this hair is kind of just out like that, right? It looks a little more lived in, it's somewhat natural looking, and the hair is just kind of pulled up out of the way, okay? Very, very simple. So, you know, and then if you wanted to really rough it up a little bit, the key is to having that hair on the bottom knotted through, okay? So as you can see, what I did with this is I just pulled out some pieces like that, all right? And you can see the elastic. Here's the elastic right here. So once again, I'll demonstrate that so you can see it one more time here. So I've got the elastic right here, like this. It's in the palm of my hand. I'm going to use my fingers here to rake the hair back. And now depending, right, here's another option. Depending on how high you want this, sometimes you can go, you know, really, really high with this. So what I would suggest doing is just using the fingers and planting that base right in through here, like I mentioned, okay? And the hairspray definitely helps because it's adding a little bit more hold for me. So now we've got a much higher type of man bun. So there's the wrap around one time. Now I'm going to pull this through, and notice how I just left it out. All right, so this is kind of like the man bun on top. Again, it's all about convenience. It's all about making it look loose, a little more natural. If you want, you know, you can pull pieces out like this to have kind of like a half up, half down type of thing. You know, if that's something you're interested in, it's all about just looping it. And you can see, here's the bottom piece. There's the bottom piece. You can pull that out so you want, you know, and then there you go. It's all about once the hair is in, playing around with it. So the next option is if the hair is, you know, on the thicker side. This is definitely thick hair, right? And there's a lot of it. It's really about how much hair you have. So the thickness of the hair, yes, it matters, but at the same time, you know, it's really, if you've got a ton of hair, but you still have fine hair, it's definitely something to also take in consideration. So I'm going to spray this in. Same thing with the hairspray. Kind of dirty the hair up a little bit. And when I say dirty, no, it's not making your hair filthy, but what it's doing is it's just adding a little layer, right? A little layer so that the hair is not so soft, which is much needed. So I'm using my fingers, I'm raking it through and getting a feel for the hair. So for something like this, the clear little tiny elastic bands, I would say may not be the best option just because it's really, really tough to get all this hair in that little rubber band. So most of the times it'll just snap. I hate to say it, but it's probably going to snap in half. And I've experienced that firsthand. So let's take a look what we got here. Same thing, but this mannequin has a ton of hair. All right, so what I'm doing is I'm using my fingers, making sure I got that base, that foundation. I haven't brushed this yet. I'm just raking, like I mentioned before, setting that foundation in. And what we're going to do now is I'm using a more traditional type of elastic or ponytail holder, okay? So what I'm going to do is I've got my hands here. I'm cupping in the hair like this. I'm going to pull the hair through. So we've got the first wrap around there. Then I'm going to take it, loop it around, and there we go. I'm going to pull through. So this is the second type of man bun type of style, okay? It's all about just taking the hair and looping it through. Just make sure that you've got a strong elastic. This one has been sitting for a very, very long time, so it's not like super strong. But the key is to getting an elastic that will hold the hair in. And then it's just a matter of the technique, okay? So we've got the base foundation, there we go, looping it around, and there it is. You know, and if you want to make it a little more kind of like, again, it's just pulling the pieces out and seeing how you like it, right? It's all up to you. You can also then hit it with a little bit of the locked hairspray just to kind of help seal the deal, so to speak. You know, are man buns still in, or ponytails, whatever? I mean, yeah, if you're a dude who's got long hair, then you want convenience. And this can work for women as well. I mean, it's the same thing. It's just a matter of, I think for guys, we want a little more of that rugged type of look, unless you want something super slick back and really, really polished. That's totally cool too. Same type of thing, you're just using a comb or a brush to really make sure all the hair is smooth. I like this type of look because to me, it just looks not so, you know, not so perfect, all right? There's a lot of hair in through here. The higher you bring this up, the more it's gonna look, you know, like you've got just a bunch of hair sitting in through here. So that's why it's really, really important that you pick a spot that you want this man bun to live in, all right? But keep in mind, it's all about convenience. It's all about, hey, I want to put my hair up quickly, and in a matter of seconds, I can have this type of look. And there you go. So let me know if you found this video helpful. Thanks for watching. I'll see you soon.